Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From now until June 17th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a Modern Horizons booster box. Also, there is a way to enter the drawing with no purchase necessary. See the description below for the full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This might be the largest market watch I ever put together. So many cards are spiking due to the reveals from last week's Modern Horizons previews. One quick note before we get started though, Flipside Gaming does have Modern Horizons singles up on their website now, so if you've been waiting to use that promo code on some of those cards, you now have the opportunity to do so. And of course, thank you because that does support the channel too. But let's get into it. We're going to begin with the top 5 standard legal cards that have lost value this week. I do have one honorable mention though. It is the Immortal Sun, going down 85 cents to 25.54. There was a lot of anticipation around this card leading into War of the Spark as people thought maybe this will be a necessity if some of these Planeswalkers are just too strong in the standard format. The problem is that 6 casting cost is still tough to swing. The card is performing a similar role in standard as it did last season, and that's in some of the Gruul midrange decks. Not always, but sometimes you do find it there. Ultimately, this will continue to lose value. Commander players are still going to want this card. Oathbreaker players are still going to want this card. But right now, $25.54 is still a high price point. Number 5 is Kaya Orzhov Usurper, down 86 cents to $15. This is a great standard card still. You'll find this in Esper Control. Modern, it's in a lot of decks right now, but I said this last week. It's not like you cram 4 of these in a deck typically. Those modern decks are running like 1 or 2 copies between the main and the board, so this will probably lose a little more value before it stabilizes. Number 4 is Blood Crypt from Dissension, the original one, down $1.39 to $23. This card has been very hot. Not only has it seen standard play, but a lot of modern play, and in some big decks too, Dredge, Grixis Death Shadow, Jund, among many others. Because this card was jumping in price so aggressively recently, we're seeing a little bit of a cooling off week now. Number 3, Liliana Dreadhorde General, goes down $1.39 to $26.99. Liliana is seeing a lot of play in standard, Esper midrange, Esper Control, Grixis Control, and more. I even saw a modern Dimir deck running 1 copy of her in the main, so that was kind of interesting. We'll see if that sticks. But a lot of packs are still being opened of War of the Spark. It's a very popular set, and even though this is a mythic that sees play, it is still losing value. Number 2, Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Similar story here, down $2.02 to $22.41. However, the big difference is Nicol Bolas isn't seeing as extensive play as Liliana is even, so this does stand to lose a little more value. This is a great card in Grixis Control, don't get me wrong, but you're not seeing it show up in a whole lot of other places. Number 1, God Eternal Kefnet. Third verse, same as the first, down $2.42 to $15. Another mythic rare from War of the Spark. Now, this one is going through a similar thing right now as Bolas is. This is great in Grixis Control. It's kind of showing up here or there in other places, but I don't really see it sticking right now into some of the other big competitive decks. Time will tell. I do think this will see play in more decks as we go throughout the season and into the next season, but at least right now, it's looking a little more narrow than some people expected. Alright, now it's time for the top 5 Teferi standard legal cards that have gained value this week. Top 5 standard legal cards, although, yeah, 2 of them are Teferi. Here's an honorable mention first, though. Sarkhan the Masterless, up $1.52 to $3.79. This card's actually doing really good in the meta currently for standard. Jeskai Super Friends, Gruul Midrange, and other decks are running it. Number 5, our first Teferi of the day, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, up $1.56 to $44.99. You know what this card does. Standard, Esper Midrange, Esper Control, Jeskai Super Friends, and more. Modern control decks run this still. Yeah, just Teferi being Teferi this week. Number 4 is Dire Fleet Daredevil, up $1.66 to $6.20. And this is due to the mono red aggro decks doing well in the format currently. Number 3, Teferi Time Raveler, another Teferi, up $2.42 to $16.09. Now, this is a rare from War of the Spark, and it's going up in value quite a bit. Why is that? Well, because it's seeing a ton of play. Esper Midrange, Esper Control, Azorius Aggro, Bant Midrange, Jeskai Super Friends, and more. In Modern, you're going to find this in Azorius Control, Esper Control. Legacy, this is showing up in Miracles. This card is on fire right now. Number 2, Crucible of Worlds. This card is getting hot. All copies are starting to move up, but these 2 are moving the most this week. Fifth Dawn up $1.39 to $21.38. 10th edition up $2.70 to $21.80. Okay, so we know what this card does. I mean, in Modern, it's in a lot of places. Tron decks, Amulet Titan, 4-color Prison, and more. Legacy, lands, Vintage, Eldrazi. Sure, almost par for the course right now for Crucible of Worlds. That alone could mean that the card could be going up in value, even though it's not doing a whole lot right now in Standard. But there was a Modern Horizons preview that has people thinking that perhaps this card gets even better going forward. That card is Wrenn in 6. So this is part of a Gruul strategy within the set that is going to care about lands in the graveyard. Who else cares about lands in the graveyard? Our friend Crucible of Worlds, of course. There's a chance that some new strategies could be coming for Modern, and I'm willing to bet almost definitely for Commander. Karn the Great Creator, another rare from War of the Spark, is number 1, going up $3.90 to $15.49. Last week we talked at great lengths about this card. Not only is it doing well in Commander, as a lot of people expected originally, but it's also taking Modern, Legacy, and Vintage by storm. You're going to find this all over the place. Modern Tron builds, Eldrazi builds, Amulet Titan, Mono Red Prison, Legacy Planeswalker Post decks, Eldrazi decks, Vintage Eldrazi decks too. Even though this is rare, this card does stand to gain more value before it stabilizes. Okay, let's move on to Modern, with the top 5 Modern legal cards that have lost value this week. Coming in at number 5 is Ward of Bones, down $1.83 to $14.95. This has been a Commander card that people have been picking up to play alongside Karn in those builds. It's just another way to kind of control the game a little bit, aside from Mycosynth Lattice. And because it was spiking pretty aggressively, you're starting to see a little retraction now. Number 4, Leyline of the Void from Magic 2011, goes down $2.36 to $47.52. Now, this still sees a lot of Modern and Vintage play. It's great in sideboards for Phoenix decks and Dredge decks. Right now, though, I think people are kind of taking their eye off this. It got hot, especially leading into Mythic Championship 2, as people wanted to see how the London Mulligan was going to work. But even though I'm pretty sure the London Mulligan will be adopted pretty soon, a lot of the cards that were spiking during that time period are cooling off now. Number 3, another example of that, Gemstone Caverns, goes down $3.38 to $42.85. Great Modern card. This shows up in a lot of places right now, Tron builds, Eldrazi builds, and more. But again, this gained a lot of momentum as we were talking about the London Mulligan, which a lot of people aren't thinking about currently. Number 2, Mycosynth Lattice from Darksteel, goes down $3.92 to $60.99. This is another card that has been super hot recently because of Karn the Great Creator. And it's not seeing any less play, basically showing up in any deck that Karn the Great Creator is in. However, when there's super aggressive spiking like we saw with this card, you can always expect a little retraction. People who have copies of this card that aren't playing it, they're going to go ahead and sell it, which is going to add more copies to the marketplace. Number 1 is Dark Confidant, 2 copies. Modern Masters 2015 down $2.78 to $72. Modern Masters down $4.43 to $74.99. A lot of these bobs are just trying to find their price point. They got hot again recently because they're seeing a lot of play. Golgari Midrange, Jund, and more in Modern. A lot of play in Legacy and even Vintage. Another card that's having a cooling off week after a lot of growth. Here we go. Top 10. Yep, we're doing 10 again. Modern legal cards that have gained value this week. So many of these are moving because of the previews. We're going to talk about each and every one. And just stay really close to the market. Even though 10 cards feels like a lot, I feel like we're only scratching the surface here. I'll be talking about a lot of other Modern legal cards when we get to the Commander section as well. So we're covering a lot today, but stay close to the market. We couldn't even talk about everything that's spiking today. Number 10, Sliver Overlord, goes up $8.38 to $37.47. Okay, so Slivers are coming back in Modern Horizons, and we got to look at the key one, the first Sliver this week, and that did get a lot of attention back on Slivers. You're going to see more on the list today. One thing I do want to mention, a lot of folks are talking about insider trading. We saw Slivers going up a number of weeks ago, even months ago. And I hate to throw out allegations like that without any evidence, but I got to tell you, there definitely appears to be some movement in cards that jumped ahead of the actual reveals. However, I do think a lot of that can be explained. There were a lot of content creators a couple of months ago talking about Sliver Commander decks. That does generate buzz and attention on certain cards. That could have just been a coincidence. The weeks leading up to the preview, Sliver started to get hot again, and there really wasn't a reason that I could find for it. So unfortunately, I do think some of that does exist. I don't know how big it is. Maybe it's just happening with a small pocket of people around the actual production process, but something looks like it is going on behind the scenes. Number 9, Ensnaring Bridge from 7th edition. It goes up $8.48 to $60.99 this week. Actually, all of these Ensnaring Bridges are getting hot right now, but this is the one that made our list. And it took a lot to make our list this week, as you can see by this price jump. This is a great modern card, which you'll find in Burn, Prison decks, and others, Legacy, Planeswalker Post, and more there. Another card that is riding that Karn the Great Creator wave a little bit too. Unwinding Clock comes in at number 8. New Phyrexia up $6.64 to $10.99. Commander 2018 up $9.02 to $13. Okay, so why is this one going up in value? Unwinding Clock? Well, there's a little card called Urza Lord Hi Artificer. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a few moments, let you read it in case you're not familiar with it, because I'm going to be referring to this card about 107 times in this video. This is inspiring a ton of card movement in the Commander scene, especially the competitive Commander scene. With this, Unwinding Clock feels like a Seedborn Muse, since all your artifacts tap for blue mana. Later in the video, we're going to talk about some endless mana loops to exploit with that 5-cost ability too. Number 7, Auntie's Hovel. This goes up $9.37 to $12.39. Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to use my one per video. This is from Lorwyn, and during that time period, those Modern Era sets got a little bit of a lower print run than most other Modern Era sets. So the rares from those sets can be a little bit spiky, and this is a good example of that. So what's really the catalyst though this week? Well, it's goblins, and it just happens to be that Modern Horizons is putting goblins in the Rakdos colors. We're seeing some cool reprints that are being added to Modern now, like Goblin Matron, and also new cards like Sling Gang Lieutenant. Number 6 is another Sliver. It's a good one with Sedge Sliver. It goes up $9.55 to $18.99. Number 5, Fist of the Suns, 2 copies. Commander 2017 goes up $10.18 to $13.92. Fifth Dawn goes up $11.10 to $14.92. This card isn't moving because it kind of looks like the Infinity Gauntlet, which is kind of cool, but it is moving because of a new Modern Horizons card. And that card is Morophon the Boundless. With this card, you do have to choose a tribe, but once you have done that, let's say you choose dragons, for example, those dragons that might cost you one of each color are going to come into play for free. Regardless, though, whichever tribe you choose, this and Fist of the Suns means you get to play those cards for free. There's another card that interacts with this in just a second, too. Number 4 is Sword of the Meek, up $11.36 to $18.95. Sword of the Meek and Thopter Foundry are a classic combo that still kicks around Modern today. However, our friend Urza has got people thinking about this card again, but also there's another card that was previewed that could make this better too. That's Goblin Engineer. A lot of people are thinking the Sword of the Meek Thopter Foundry combo just gets easier with this card, which it does. We'll have to see if that can push the Modern deck a little bit. Number 3, Extra Planar Lens goes up $21.07 to $44.99. This is the card that really kind of pushed me and opened my eyes to the whole insider trading thing. If you watched last week's Market Watch video, this card just started going up. Well, we found out the very next day that Snowlands were going to be in Modern Horizons. Now, to be fair, there was speculation out there. People thought that Snowlands would be coming back, maybe Modern Horizons, maybe the next standard set. A lot of people were talking about it, a lot of chatter. It just felt a little odd that the card spiked so close to the reveal to me. But anyway, this time it really spikes. And of course, like I said, it is because it does play really well with snow-covered lands. It's interesting though, if more people are playing with snow-covered lands, this card kind of gets worse in Commander. The whole idea is you're able to imprint a snow-covered land. You get the advantage, the other players don't. Number 2 is Reaper King, up $24.81 to $32.95. Without any further ado, I now present the other card that wants to play with Morophon the Boundless. This is another really cool combo for Commander. Number 1, we got a Sliver here, Sliver Legion, up $41.69 to $110.98. Wow, okay. So this was quite a spike, but there's bigger spikes coming, don't worry. So with Sliver Legion, again, could this card see Modern play at some point? I don't know. Sure, we know these Slivers will be fun in Commander or casual decks, but can there be a Modern Sliver deck? People are trying to brew, we'll have to see where it goes though. Okay, let's move on to our Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards from 93-94 formats, Legacy format, Vintage. We also talk about cards that are important to collectors. Here's our first one. It's Strip Mine from Antiquities. This is the small tower variant because you see that little tower kind of on the edge there. Up 1042 this week to 105.58. Great vintage card, great Commander card. But you don't have to get this version of the card. There's cheaper ones. This one is moving more because of the collector market. Gaia's Cradle. Now, this is on the reserve list. It goes up 1048 to 369.99. There was a Judge promo of this made back in the days when they used to do that before they kind of closed that loophole in the reserve list. This is a good Legacy card. You'll find this in Elves decks. Good Commander card, too. Verduran Enchantress from Unlimited goes up 1430 to 78.99. If you watch the Market Watch every week, you know that unlimited cards have been hot for a number of months now. This one has a relatively big spike this week. Field of Dreams. This is on the reserve list from Legends. It goes up $14.90 to $142.39, mostly moving because it's a Legends reserve list card. Here's another unlimited card. This one is on the reserve list. Two-Headed Giant of 4 Eyes. It goes up $15.14 to $90.07. Royal Assassin from Unlimited goes up $15.77 to $74.99. Grim Monolith. This is on the reserve list. It goes up $32.69 to $180.98. Great legacy card, and this is getting a push because of Karn the Great Creator as well. You'll find this in Eldrazi decks and Planeswalker Post, for example. Mox Sapphire from Unlimited is going up $598.71 to $3,247.50 this week. Of course, this is on the reserve list. This is mostly moving because there's some higher grade copies on the marketplace, which is pushing the price point a little. Time Walk from Unlimited jumps $1,049.01 to $2,849, also on the reserve list. Couple reasons for this. One, there is a high grade graded copy for sale right now, which is pushing the price point. Secondly, somebody has a regular, really nice copy of the card, don't get me wrong, but they are asking a very, very high price for it, an extraordinary high price. They could be just looking for an offer. They could be trying to jump the market price a little bit, one of the two. But because of that, you see this big spike on paper. Okay, here we go. It's our Commander Spotlight. I got a lot of cards. I'm going to go super fast. I'm not going to talk about every little reason why the card could be going up. I'm just going to try to give you the highlights. Here we go. Sapphire Medallion from Commander 2014, up $1.04 to $9.79. These Commander 2014 medallions look amazing. This one, though, is starting to move a little bit because it is very efficient with Urza. Not only can you play this and then your blue spells are one less to cast, but you can also tap this for blue mana at the same time. Mox Sapphire, eat your heart out. Venser the Sojourner goes up $1.09 to $16.83 from Scars of Meriden. This card is moving partially because Modern Horizons is focusing on the blink mechanic for white-blue in the set, so that's actually kind of cool. You're going to get new cards to play with Venser and King Brago, for example. One of the key cards we've seen is Astral Drift, and this might be one of the first cards that we're talking about on the Market Watch, which is moving not only because of Commander, but also could be moving strongly because of Oathbreaker. Michiko Kanda, Truth Seeker, haven't seen her in a little bit, but she goes up $1.17 to $19.22 this week. Great Pillow Fort card in Commander. Warren Instigator, because of Goblins, goes up $1.24 to $6.97. Could there be a modern Goblin deck? Time will tell. I think it would be really cool to see that tribe get there, though. Cold Steel Heart, up $1.25 to $5.98. This is the one from Commander 2015. Great mana rock. This has been hot for a few weeks now. Wheel of Fortune from Revised. This goes up $1.29 to $99.62. This is a reserve list card, probably why it's been hot recently, but I just wanted to point it out. It is a good Commander card, too. Sensei's Divining Top. Champions of Kamigawa goes up $1.14 to $29.89. Eternal Masters up $1.36 to $31.99. This is a great vintage card. Generally, it's a great Commander card. Card in the popular colorless Commander decks have recently pushed this a little. Time for another Sliver with Synapse Sliver. This one goes up $1.37 to $7.06. Contagion Engine goes up $1.43 to $18.85. So this card was really hot as War of the Spark was coming out because of Proliferate. Well, we got to see a card yesterday which also incorporates Proliferate. Sword of Truth and Justice. Really, really sweet card here. And if you're a fan of Proliferate strategies in either Commander or just casual decks, if you're a fan of Atraxa, you might be interested in this. Land Tax stays hot. The Battle Bond copy goes up $1.46 to $32.56. Staff of Domination, great card to play with Vannifar and Commander, up $1.46 to $41.54. Also can contribute to some endless mana hijinks, which of course Urza is very interested in. Sword of Fire and Ice, this is the Dark Steel one, goes up $1.46 to $59.95. Great legacy card for Maverick, for Death and Taxes, but also a very strong Commander card. I also think the Sword of Truth and Justice has got people just thinking about the swords this week. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, up $1.46 to $82.12. Okay, granted, this is a big competitive card. Modern Tron, Legacy Planeswalker Post, Eldrazi Post, and more. But again, another card that's also being pushed by Karn the Great Creator and does see a lot of Commander play. Isokron Scepter, up $1.47 to $10.99. This is the one from Eternal Masters. So again, we're talking about Urza here. If you get the card Dramatic Reversal, which is a 1 in blue instance that's going to allow you to untap all your non-land permanents. You can imprint that on the Scepter. As long as you have mana rocks to tap for mana, you got a mana loop. Remember, if you have Urza, all your artifacts will tap for blue mana. So if you get the loop to go off, you can use that mana to pay for Urza's 5-cost ability to play cards off the top of your deck. Blightsteel Colossus comes back up $1.48 to $71.60. This card got really hot. Then it started to retract a little bit. Now we see a bounce back week. Again, another card that got pushed by Karn the Great Crater, but also by Ilharg the Razeboar. Ramses Overdark. I like to point out when these Gold Legends reserve list cards go up in value. This week, this one goes up $1.55 to $18.49. One of the few that's still kind of affordable. Demonic Tutor remains hot. This is the one from Dual Decks, Divine versus Demonic. It goes up $1.57 to $35.96. Great vintage card, great commander card. Riku of Two Reflections goes up $1.71 to $24.21. This card has been hot ever since Raw Storm Conduit has come out. Idyllic Tutor. Tutors are all over this list as usual. Up $1.75 this week to $33.79. This is also for Morning Tide. I won't say it again, but yeah, it had a lower print run. Last Chance, 2 copies here. Portal up $1.20 to $11.84. Starter 99 up $1.79 to $16.78. This isn't a huge commander card or anything, but this card does tend to get a little spiky at times, so I like to point it out. I have seen people play this in decks with like Final Fortune and Chance for Glory, and then they have some ways to shut off the effect. It can be fun. Power Artifact, this one's on the reserve list. It goes up $1.81 to $1.33. Earlier I mentioned that people want endless mana for Urza. Take this card, Rings of Bright Hearth, as well as Basalt Monolith, and you're there. The Command Zone podcast actually previewed Urza the other day, and in that video, they reminded everybody of this combo. Razorclaw Bearer goes up $1.94 to $14.72. Okay, this isn't just another one of those Portal Second Age random spikes. People actually care about bears this week. Why is that? Well, we got a Bear Lord. Oyola, Queen Among Bears. We also got some other cards that interact with bears, and people are excited, even if it's just for casual decks. They're excited. There's also some speculators, I'm sure, trying to pick up bears too. Lux Cannon, a card that wants to be the target of Proliferate. Sort of Truth and Justice brought this one back too, I think. Up $1.99 to $11.99. Sword of Feast and Famine, another sword, great commander one. This one's been hot ever since Najila the Blade Blossom, and it just stays hot. The Meriden Besieged version goes up $2 to $42.28. Norwood Priestess, another card from Portal Second Age. This goes up $2.09 to $40.92. A lot of random green commander cards have been hot because we have been getting a lot of good green cards for the format recently. Mana Severance. This goes up $2.33 to $10.99. This one has spiked recently for a few different reasons. One of which was Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Another one was Bolas' Citadel. This got featured prominently not too long ago in Game Nights. But this time I think it's moving more than anything, again, because of Urza. If you can get to the point where you get rid of the lands in your deck and you have enough mana to play with, then every card on top of your deck will be something you can play with Urza. Urza's Filter goes up $2.38 to $3.49. Well, it does say Urza right on the card. What do you expect? Actually, this one is going up because of Morophon. A lot of people are thinking of playing tribal multicolor decks now because of that card. Things like dragons, and of course, this fits perfectly in those strategies. Cruel Tutor, another tutor here. This one from Portal goes up $2.43 to $43.23. Enlightened Tutor, another tutor. 6th edition goes up $1.92 to $25.65. Mirage up $2.45 to $29.99. Mana Echoes, this is great with slivers if you want to play Sliver Commander. Up $2.46 to $21.64. Wormcoil Engine from Commander 2014 goes up $2.82 to $30.62. Another card being pushed by Karn. Now, this sees play in Modern Tron, Amulet Titan, for example. Legacy Eldrazi decks will play this. Vintage will be in Ravager shops. But it's also a good commander card too, so I threw it on here. Diffusion Sliver goes up $2.87 to $3.53. Another strong sliver here. Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow, another card that plays well with Mana Severance, but this goes up $3.08 to $12.06. Now, this has always been a popular commander card, but it just got a little more popular over the last few days when we found out that Modern Horizons is bringing ninjas in the Dimir colors. We haven't seen a lot of these ninjas yet. We did see Fallen Shinobi yesterday. You see that on the screen there. We did see some changelings too that look like they could play well, but I'm sure we're going to see more ninjas this week. Doubling Season, sure. Battle Bond goes up $1.05 to $59.99. Ravnica City of Guilds goes up $3.10 to $62.50. So this is just an awesome card. There's a million reasons why this could be going up in value. There's one card in particular. I'm not going to show it to you yet because I think it's a better reveal with another card coming up. But there is a card from the new set that could be pushing this a little bit. Recruiter of the Guard, another way to search your library. This card remains hot, goes up 321 to 3185. Cloudstone Curio. Okay, this goes up 334 to 1997, and now is the time to reveal the card I was mentioning a few moments ago with Doubling Season. This, if you haven't seen it, is super sweet. Planebound Accomplice. Basically a creature with a sneak attack ability for planeswalkers. Pretty cool, right? So obviously that would work well with Doubling Season, but also if you use this card with Cloudstone Curio and you have Chandra Bold Pyromancer and one other planeswalker, you can create an endless mana loop. Helix Pinnacle goes up this week, up 342 to 2222, not only because it's an Eventide card, yet again from that time period of Magic, but also because of a preview card, Unbound Flourishing. A lot of people want to play with this combo. Some people are even thinking Modern Brews, but definitely for casual or commander, I could see a lot of folks trying this out. Training Grounds, fantastic Sliver card, of course, goes up 372 to 2172 this week. Cavern of Souls, Ultimate Masters goes up 255 to 69.99. Avacyn Restored goes up 390 to 69.84. Now, is this exclusively a commander card? Of course not. If you're going to play Modern Tribal, if you're going to play Legacy Tribal, Humans, of course, is a very popular deck that uses this. But you can't ignore the fact that this will be awesome with Goblins and Slivers, which a lot of people are paying attention to this week. Mist Hollow Griffin goes up 396 to 496. Every once in a while, people get interested in this card again. What's causing it this time? Well, you guessed it, it's another Modern Horizons preview. This time it's Force of Negation. This is a blue card that you can pitch to play Force of Negation, and then you can later on play the card and get it back. That value has got people interested in the card right now, but it's also a very good food chain commander card. Altar of Dementia goes up 406 to 1198. This is the original from Tempest. Found out this week this will be in Modern Horizons, so yes, it will be Modern Legal. Is it going to do anything there? Well, I guess time will tell, but a lot of people are going to grab the original copy now just in case. Concordant Crossroads gets hot again from Legends at 421 to 118. Now, this could be going up because it's a Legends card and they tend to go up, but this is also a very, very good commander card. Trash for Treasure, Mirrodin goes up $388 to $5. Commander 2016 goes up $484 to $572. We talked about Goblin Engineer a little bit earlier. It lets you basically take an artifact out of your library when you play it, and it goes into your graveyard. It can later move an artifact to the battlefield from the graveyard if the converted mana cost is 3 or less, and you sack that as well as another artifact and pay 1 red. Well, this is another way to let you get an artifact out of the graveyard, and this can be any artifact. It doesn't have that restriction to it. Some players are trying to brew with this and the Engineer in Modern, even Legacy. If that doesn't work out, though, this could still be a very good commander or casual combo. Original Fact or Fiction from Invasion goes up 540 to 725, another card that is being reprinted in Modern Horizons. And I do think this one will see Modern play. Feels like a lot of other people are banking on that too, trying to grab the original copy. Sliver Hive. Yep, another Sliver card. Goes up $574 to $18. Scrying Sheets. This is one of the best snow cards. It goes up $595 to $28.49. Simic colors in Modern Horizons are focused on snow, and we already saw some cards this week, but I do think people are waiting to see what else is going to come. But if we get some good pieces, then maybe we could get a Modern Snow deck potentially, or again, a lot of people will just be happy with more components for Commander. Rings of Brighthearth from Lorwyn, here we go again, goes up $5.99 to $59.95, and of course, you know this is an incredible Commander card for a lot of reasons, but again, I already mentioned the combo that might help Urza along too. Strong Sliver here with Gal Rider Sliver. It goes up $6.30 to $12. Paradox Engine goes up $7.02 to $44.99. Another card that is just incredible in Commander generally, but also is going to be very, very good with Urza. Untap those artifacts, tap them for mana, so on and so forth. Another gold Reserveless Legends card here with Hazan Tamar going up $8.19 to $184.47. Another Bear card here with Bear Escape goes up $9.29 to $10 this week. Wow. Transmute Artifact. This is on the reserve list. Goes up $10.72 to $163.32. You need a way to get that Paradox Engine for Urza, right? There probably are cheaper ways, but this is a good one. Winter Orb from Eternal Masters goes up $11.37 to $16.49. Wow. This is another card that is moving because of Urza. All the copies of this card are moving up at least a little bit, but this one looks like it got bought out. Sliver Overlord, of course. Here we go with the Sliver Lords now. Up $29.04 to $44.99 this week. And of course, Sliver Queen, the one that's on the reserve list, goes up $63.68 to $211.87. Alright, after seeing that, my wallet is hiding from fear, so I'm going to try to coax it out now with our Pauper Spotlight. Let's look at some cards that we might be able to afford. Ancestral Mask from Mercadian Masks is one of those cards. It goes up 10 cents to $159. You'll find this in the Hexproof Pauper decks. Relic of Progenitus, of course this sees a lot of Modern play in sideboards, but it's also seeing a lot of Pauper play as well. Plane Chase goes up 12 cents to $4.98. Modern Masters up 14 cents to $4.99. The copy from the Modern Event deck goes up 15 cents to $4.72. Shards of Alara goes up 19 cents to $4.72. Skred, this goes up 94 cents to $2.46. Now, this is in Izzet Control, Grixis Control, and Pauper. Now, granted, with the bannings, those decks could lose a step, but it doesn't matter with this card because of the tie-in with Snow. Time for the Black Lotus of Pauper, Oubliette. 2 copies here. Arabian Nights B goes up $2.39 to $36. Arabian Nights A goes up $2.75 to $38.24. Now, the difference is the A is the one that has the darker casting cost like you see in the picture there. This is great for Pauper Mono Black Control, sure, always has been, always will be, probably. But people are hoping that this shows up in Modern Horizons, and if it does, the older copy, like Factor Fiction and Ultra Dementia did this week, could be going up in value, so you're seeing a little speculation here, I think. Alright, time for the Premium Spotlight, and I know I say it every week, but I feel like I have to throw the disclaimer out there. When you look at online prices for foils, they can be misleading sometimes. There's not enough sales data out there to always get a good idea of what a card's worth. But I like to point out at least one foil to look at each week, and this week it's Sliver Overlord. 2 copies, Premium Deck Series Slivers goes up $29.81 to $45. Scourge foil goes up $46.94 to $96. The main reason I picked this card was just to remind everybody that Premium Deck Series Slivers is a thing. Every card in that deck was in foil. Some might already be going up in value, others may be poised to go up in value soon. It's just something you want to be aware of. Alright, with that being said, that is the Market Watch for today. Now, there are more preview cards coming out today. By the time you see this video, they will most likely already be out. I'm going to do a video tomorrow to cover those cards, and then Monday we'll continue on with more previews. Until then, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.